Guys, it's Brian Kay here, the unconventional advisor and co founder of the Advisor Accelerator. And today I want to share with you a quick, simple, three-step strategy for effective lead generation and effective marketing of all sorts. And that's something that I learned probably 25 years ago in direct response marketing. And it goes all the way back to the direct mail days, which I still do, but a lot of people have shifted over to digital. But it still applies to any sort of lead generation and marketing today. And those three strategies are number one, list, number two, offer, and number three, copy. Or for those of you who aren't familiar with copy or copywriting, which would be more of the written word, I'm talking about the messaging that you're using to communicate a sales message, whether that's a webinar, a live event, a sales letter, an in person meeting. So you have three variables, and a lot of people over focus on probably one of those three things. And often it's the wrong variable to over focus on because it has the least impact on your overall lead generation and marketing strategy. So, what most people do is they over focus on their messaging, right? They spend countless hours perfecting their sales presentation, perfecting their workshop, perfecting their webinar, and crafting their brand, their messaging, et cetera, et cetera. The number one most important thing to focus in on is the list. Who are you going to make the offer to? Right? Can you find them? Are they identifiable? Is it cost effective and easy to reach them? Can you reach them by direct mail? Can you reach them by email? Can you reach them on LinkedIn? Can you reach them on Facebook? Can you reach them on Instagram? Can you reach them in any venue that is accessible, and can you do it cost effectively? So 40% minimum of your time, energy, thought process, and strategy should go into what list should I rent, what list should I target, what group of people should I be focusing on, and can I do it cost effectively? So that's the most important thing. If you go to the wrong group of people, even with the right offer and the right messaging, you're going to fail. Your message is going to fall on deaf ears. So that's number one. Number two is the offer. The offer is the second most important thing, and I think it's like right up there with who you choose to talk to. So once you've defined the group of people you want to target and how you're going to cost effectively reach them, you have to determine like what exactly am I going to make as an offer to these people that communicates to them that I'm aware of whatever keeps them up at 2 o'clock in the morning rolling around in their bed. As all of you probably already know, most people do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. I'm not saying that pleasure isn't a good pathway for offering your services, but most of the time people will do far more to get out of pain than they will to gain pleasure, or some combination of those two things, right? And if I was going to choose one, I'd like to know what's keeping the person that I want to help up at night. So I'll give you a quick example. Like for what we do with financial advisors, we show them how to become college planning specialists, which is a very specific niche. Why do we do this? Because it's a starving crowd of people that have late stage college bound students who are in high school that desperately need to figure out, oh my gosh, I've got 1 to 3 years to figure this out. How am I going to do it? How am I going to get my child into their dream school, and how am I going to pay for it? And once I do pay for it, how am I not going to let it destroy my cash flow, ruin my retirement so that I have to work for the rest of my life? And then how am I going to do it for my 2 or 3 other children that come right behind that child? So massive pain, right? So number one, I know who the group of people is, right? They typically are 40 to 55 years old. They're a certain income level. They typically are homeowners. They have a child who's in high school, and that child tends to be college bound, has a certain grade point average. And what's keeping them up at night is, how am I going to send my child to the college of their choice? How in the world am I going to pay for it and not completely have to alter my lifestyle, stop funding my retirement plans, and work for the rest of my life, right? Massive problem. So number one, we have the list. Number two, the offer is, I'm going to show you how to send your child to the school of their choice, and I'm going to show you how to do it for wholesale or to pay less for it, right? Or without ruining your retirement. These are things that bring people out in mass to either a live event, to a webinar, to any type of thing because it's a topic that is keeping them up at night. It's the conversation they're already having in their head, and we're addressing the conversation that they're already having in their head by calling it out, right? So again, list, offer, and then the final thing is the messaging. Like, what am I going to say? How am I going to communicate it? Which is also super important. And that's going to be like when they do show up at the event, like, how am I inviting them? Am I sending a flyer? Am I like promoting it on Facebook? And what am I going to put in the ad? What's the headline going to be? What's the image going to be? What's the landing page going to look like? Once they do opt in, how am I going to basically put together the webinar or the workshop? What am I going to say? What are the slides going to say? What's my call to action, et cetera, right? That's all messaging, all very important, all stuff you should absolutely spend time on. But in terms of what has the most impact on the success of a company, of being able to scale, of being able to have a perennial ongoing business model, number one, do I have a large target market or list that's identifiable and cost effective to tap into? Well, in the case of college planning and college funding, there's 5 million new families every single year who need this help. It replenishes itself every year. That never has ended as long as I've been an adult, that has been going on, right? Second thing, is there a massive problem that needs to be solved for them that keeps them up at night? Yes, there is. How am I going to send all my children to college and do it cost effectively and not completely massively modify my lifestyle and derail my retirement plan so that I have to work for the rest of my life, right? So there's my offer. And then how do I communicate that message? Well, I can invite them to a flyer if there's a live event. I can do Facebook, and I can run ads and images showing, a cap and gown and hugging them after graduation, which is the vision that every parent has for their child. And then I might call out to them by making the offer of, how to send your child to the college of their choice without ruining your retirement, or how to send your child to their dream college, for a wholesale rate or for less, or however we want to state that. And there's a million ways that we've done it. But the point of the matter is 40+% of the success of this is going to be in targeting the right list of people. Number two, another at least 40% is going to be the offer we make. Is it the offer that solves the problem that's already in their head that's keeping them up at 2 o'clock in the morning? And then the last 20% is, how am I crafting my messaging? How am I crafting my headlines, my ads, my flyers, my landing pages, my webinars, my workshops, my slides, my offers? So there's your 3-step formula for effective lead generation. Spend the majority of your time on lists, spend the second majority of your time on crafting the right offer, and then spend the rest of the time on your messaging. If you like this information, then do me a favor and please hit the like button. If there's a place for you to subscribe, I'd love you to subscribe. I'm going to keep doing these as long as you guys are enjoying them. And if you can share it, please share it with anyone who you think would find this valuable. And if you're interested in discovering how you too could become an unconventional advisor and tap into your own starving market, which would, again, make your life a lot easier when it comes to list and offer and also copy, then please go to starvingmarketspecialist.com. and go ahead and leave your name and your email information and join us on our 60-minute masterclass where we describe our 3-step formula for getting in front of 2 to 3 new virtual starving clients every single week who desperately need and want your help solving one of their biggest problems, which is, how do I send my children to college? How do I pay for it? And how do I do it without ruining my retirement? That's it for today. Once again, I'm Brian Kay, the Unconventional Advisor and co-founder of the Advisor Accelerator, and I look forward to talking to you again shortly.